At this point, everyone probably knows that Evan Mobley isn't just an impressive defender by rookie standards alone, and that he's already one of the best defenders in the entire NBA who has consistently shown flashes of DPOY potential. As of the recording of this video, Mobley ranks 10th in blocks per game and 6th overall in total blocks in the entire league, while no other rookie ranks in the top 18 of either category. The numbers are actually staggering, as right now, Mobley has been limiting opposing teams to 48.2% shooting at the rim when he's the closest defender, which is the 6th best mark among all players to have defended at least 100 attempts at the rim this season, giving Mobley a better defensive percentage at the rim than perennial DPOY candidates such as Rudy Gobert and Giannis Antetokounmpo. Well, it would be one thing if Mobley was simply a great rim protector, and yet, labeling him as such would actually hide his true value, cause so far, Mobley's most impressive defensive skill is arguably his ability to shuffle his feet against guards and wings in the perimeter, which is actually a very unique skill to have, especially for a 7-foot 20-year-old rookie. Currently, the .74 points per possession that Mobley allows when guarding isolation possessions actually ranks in the 77th percentile among all big men who are defending at least one isolation play per game this season. On the other side of the floor though, Mobley's contributions have come primarily as a lob threat, a putback machine, or as an outlet finisher around the rim. However, over the past month and a half or so, because of injuries to some key players for the Cavs, we've seen him use some on-ball reps on the offensive end out of necessity, and I think what's really interesting is on that end, he's also been flashing some pretty good shot-making potential while using the same size, length, mobility, and basketball instincts which made him a great defender in the first place. Well, I think this isn't talked about a lot, but based on what he already has and what he's been showing, Evan Mobley actually looks like someone who can also become a special offensive player. So what's good guys, it's Real Balls here, and in this video, let's break down why Evan Mobley's emerging shot creation ability is just as terrifying as his defensive ability. And if you guys happen to enjoy the content, please make sure to give the video a like as it definitely helps the channel a lot and it will be much appreciated. So let's get to it. Considering how he's being used in the Cavs offense, it's not surprising that for the season, a whopping 62.8% of Evan Mobley's 2-point field goals have been assisted. However, over his last 15 games, the frequency of his assisted 2-pointers have actually been down to 46.1%. And because of the increased self-creation reps that he's been getting, his true shooting numbers have dipped a little bit from 54.5 over his first 42 games down to 52.1 over his last 15 games. Well, it's a small drop in efficiency, but I think based on the eye test, you could also tell that Mobley still just isn't fully comfortable with the ground that he's been breaking as a shot creator. But the thing is, even while facing some limitations, the flashes and the confidence that he's been displaying as a 7-footer with a 7'4" wingspan is just hard to overlook. Well, to see where his self-creation starts, again we have to go back to the huge amount of ground that Mobley covers in the defensive end, and that's because it's the same size, length, mobility, and basketball IQ that he uses as a perimeter defender that he also uses to create his half-court offense. Well, for sure, Mobley's not taking a lot of 3-pointers, he's only attempting 1.4 per game and is only shooting 25.6% from deep, but the combination of length and athletic ability still makes him a tough player to leave unguarded from behind the arc. If you give him the space to attack off the drive, Mobley can use his long strides and nice handle to get all the way to the rim from the 3-point line in no time. Just like here, Mobley gets the ball from behind the arc, and even before the defender is able to close out, he immediately starts his attack. You see the behind the leg dribble and the stutter step, then he overpowers Şengün with the drop step and the spin move before using his size to ultimately finish above the defense. Then here, as soon as he receives the kick out pass, Mobley immediately attacks DeJounte Murray. You can see him with a behind the leg hesitation that allows him to create additional space, and from there, he just uses his full extension to finish against 2 defenders right at the rim. So as you can see in those plays, Mobley doesn't really waste a lot of time, and his quickness for his size is actually the key point to his driving attack. And so based on that, I think once he starts hitting his outside shots at a higher volume and without hesitation, we can expect him to take advantage of more open driving lanes to attack the rim. But so far, what Mobley's shown is already quite impressive. But another thing is, Mobley has been utilizing some fake dribble handoffs, and it honestly looks like a cheat code, cause it forces defenses to be aware of either him or his teammate who's moving away from the ball. Here, watch Mobley work from the elbows. He fakes the handoff to Scottie Osman, which freezes the defense a bit, but from here, Mobley's already got enough space for him to get to his left side, which is where he's pretty much unstoppable when attacking the rim. Then here, you can see Mobley trying to create something in space. He goes on to fake a handoff to Goodwin, and the split-second misdirection it creates enables Mobley to get to his spot as he drains the 16-foot elbow jumper right in front of his man. Well, sure, Mobley's offensive game is far from being polished. Smaller defenders with good speed and broader frames have been capable of forcing him into less comfortable and less effective looks. But even then, Mobley doesn't really force the issue by trying to get to the rim all the time, as he also works with a great deal of looks from the mid-post. Mobley is attempting 30% of his shots from within 3 to 10 feet of the basket, and although he only makes 38.4% of his shots from that area, the versatility that he displays from the short mid-range is also promising, cause from there, he has the ability to either phase up into a quick jump shot or score coming off a post-up depending on what he gets out of his defender. Here, watch how Mobley works in the mid-range. He sizes up Pascal Siakam before going to a post-up, and from there, he transitions to his familiar left-hand dribble, then he pivots to the right before finishing with his usual semi-hook shot. Then here, Mobley isolates against a good defender in Torrey Craig. Again, he starts the attack on his left side, then he pivots to the right before hitting the nice 12-foot fadeaway with a hand on his face. Another thing that you gotta love about Evan Mobley is that he's also smart enough to know how to use his physical tools to his advantage. Over his first 32 games of the season, he's only attempted 3.2 free throws per game, but since then, his attempts have increased to 4.4 per game. I think this is because Mobley just keeps getting better at reading and reacting to defenses. Once he gets a mismatch near the rim, he quickly backs his defender down to take advantage of his size and length, or he simply shoots over his man. Here you can see Mobley getting the ball at the post. He knows he has the mismatch against Grant Williams, but is not that close to the rim, so he backs down a bit and spins to the right before draining the tough turnaround jumper. Here, Mobley has another chance to score right at the low block with the Cavs offense cleared out. So he backs Isaiah Jackson down, then you can see the up fake and the beautiful footwork at play, leading him to the nice left-handed finish. But at this point, Evan Mobley is just really starting to figure out the best ways for him to score, especially when he's near the basket, and so I think it would be really interesting to see how defenses approach him in a playoff series wherein teams usually focus on neutralizing attempts at the rim. But the thing is, even when defenses try to take away his driving lanes, I think you can expect Mobley to have counter moves, cause even when the ball stalls in his hands towards the end of the shot clock, Mobley also has the ability to create off the dribble jumpers. Currently, Mobley's shooting 48.8% on step back and fadeaway jumpers combined, which is already a solid mark considering this guy is a 7-footer and considering he takes most of those attempts as last resort types of shots. Here, coming from behind the arc, watch Mobley use some hang dribbles to initiate his attack. He doesn't get to the rim, but he leverages his length and size to create a little bit of separation, enabling him to hit the nice 15-foot turnaround jumper. Here, Mobley gets the ball at the high post and he already knows what he's gonna do. All he needs is a couple of dribbles to set up the same high-arcing turnaround fadeaway jumper. I mean, how do you even defend those kinds of shots? Mobley's size and high release point makes his jumper pretty much unguardable. And as he continues to grow his body, improve his strength, and tweak his game, I could only imagine what his face-up game would look like. Cause right now, even as a rookie, Mobley is already shooting 36.7% on long mid-range jumpers. That's not a ridiculous mark by any means, but it already ranks in the 69th percentile among all big men in the NBA, and overall, there just aren't a lot of 7-footers who are capable of putting together multiple dribble moves fluidly before flowing into a jump shot. Well, sure, the Cavs would most definitely want to see Mobley increase his 3-point volume and accuracy very soon, and personally, I want to see him turn into at least a second option in offense for a championship-level Cleveland Cavaliers team, most ideally in a situation wherein he can at least be utilized as a constant offensive hub from the elbows or even a pick-and-roll ball handler on good volume. But right now, he's just right where he should be. Mobley is already playing at a borderline all-defensive team level on one of the best defensive teams in the league while also flashing some ridiculous offensive upside. So for now, I think we just gotta enjoy the ride, cause what Evan Mobley is displaying on the floor isn't something we always see from a rookie anyway. So thank you guys if you made it this far into the video, and let me know what you think about Evan Mobley. Feel free to share your thoughts in the comment section below, and if you did enjoy the video, please don't forget to drop a like, and if you're new to the channel, please do consider subscribing as well. Again, this is Real Balls, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.